Let's hit it. And we're live. All right, welcome to the DigiByte Comm Talk. I'm your host, Script Skynet, and I have DubDigital with me. I asked him to come on to the show. This is a fairly new show, by the way, Dub. And I've talked to people about you in a good way, and I often call you the TA DJ.
I guess that's a good way to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah, the TA DJ. I surprised you, didn't I?
That's funny. I used to be a DJ. That's my first job, a mobile DJ in high school.
Oh, there you go.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. I had some insight. No, not really. It's just, it was fitting because I don't know if the viewers know. Here we go. Live long and prosper. Well, thank you, Gabriel D. That you're a TA YouTuber. And I consider you a TA YouTuber, but not like the traditional only Bitcoin hyper TA.
Yeah.
I mean, would you agree with me?
I would agree with you. Yeah. Because, I mean, before I started a YouTube channel, I watched a lot of YouTube. And there was kind of like a bifurcation between channels. Ones that the TA didn't touch any fundamental or developments, and ones that just did fundamental developments in OTA. And I had the idea, hey, why don't I merge this? Because like it's very relevant in terms of price action when things happen and develop. So help people tie that together and help have a more holistic understanding of what's going on with the price.
I have noticed that you're a well-rounded individual in intelligence and creativity.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was hoping you would expound a little bit on that, but you know.
Yeah, for sure. So, I've had like a lot of, I guess, practicing creative like endeavors. I've been in the arts like my entire life, doing band, DJing, composing music, editing film. It's always kind of been like side hobbies and stuff. But when I came to YouTube and I have this breadth of crypto knowledge, it's like, hey, I could package it pretty uniquely. Because half of it is the presentation, right? Because, it is a YouTube video and people are looking at it for like entertainment to some extent. So I'm trying to do it and stand out because that's how you gain a following and traction. So yeah, added music in there. And, I have the ability to like mix my own music with the vocals, which is usually the one problem people have with adding music into their videos. It's a drowning out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I use that to my advantage, and people have enjoyed
volume settings and all the adjustments. In fact, I had to learn the hard way when my mentor was like, "Hey, dude, turn your music down."
Yeah,
everything was good except turn the darn music down.
For sure.
And I really didn't get it, because I didn't do any of those things, or mastering or whatever.
Yeah,
I had to learn all that, and for you, it just seems to come natural. And when you did that DigiByte video, it really blew me away because for one reason alone. I don't know if you planned this or not, and it probably just sank in with your personality and how you were vocally authoritative at the same time fun to listen to. Your vocals, your words literally harmonized with the music, with the beats and everything. And I checked out some of your other videos, did the same thing. Do you plan that, or did it just, when you watch these things again and make sure you edit it, you said the same thing with yourself? You're like, man, this actually turned out pretty well, and I didn't plan for my words to really just bounce and forth between the audio or the rhythm.
For sure. Yeah. In terms of like adding the music and all that and setting with the tone, I did know like, hey, music has like the stage setting ability, right? It
Mhm.
gets people in the mood to receive what you have to say. So if you add music into it and you select it correctly with the topic, I spend a lot of time on sound selection, like, uh, no, what is it? Instrumental song selection. Like,
Yeah.
it's not the vibe. It's not the vibe. And then I take a while, mixing it. I take longer than I should and slowing my video production down. But it's like, hey, what am I gonna do? That's kind of like what I've set out for myself. But in terms of like chopping up the video, yeah, I do like kind of do quicker edits for faster music and stuff like that. If the coin's skying or mooning, it's like I'm gonna put a hyping up song. If it's more somber, well then I don't know if I'll be making a video, but if it is, I'll make a more somber song. You know,
Right.
yeah. So it's interesting and it's something that's not really explored by the crypto community on YouTube. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna add this dimension to it.
And it is nice. I'm going to just share this again, just in case I've had a lot of hits on this. So I just want to retweet it
Sure.
and get the DigiByte support. We're probably just going to have a lot more viewers afterwards. And keep in mind, we were planning this for Thursday, guys, but it was Thanksgiving, and my mind wasn't there when I was asking Dub to do this. So live now. And anybody in the chat or watching, feel free to ask Dub some questions. He's a TA analyst, and in my opinion, he's very good. He brings a lot to the table without pulling trickery or sleight of hand. So,
Yeah, and I'll expound on that a little bit if that's cool.
yeah, go ahead, man. I want you to.
Yeah, so basically, guys, it's TA, but some people have a misconception of what TA is. There's different like investment time horizons in terms of when you want your investment to mature. Some people do it, within the day. That's intraday trading. Some people do it weeks to months. That's swing trading. And there's longer term positions like I do, which is like months to years. When you get into the year category, you're just more or less a hodler, right? Because we're just holding on for dear life. But when you get into like the 3 to 9 month, which is what I like to do, that's when like everyone says, oh, your TA is a little loosey goosey. Well, it is because like my time horizon for the investment mature is longer than yours. I'm more concentrated on collecting a position, getting a pretty significant position, and then riding that and having a big payoff instead of like a lot of volume and quick profits. So just keep that in mind. That's why like when it dumps down and I wasn't planning it, it's like, hey, another opportunity to buy. Never exhaust your capital. Just keep loading that bag up. If you have the stomach to do so. Not financial advice. But yeah, a little bit more about my investment
Well, a
thesis.
lot of that came with what, like experience, just deciding that macro trend. In fact, I really like what you said. You always say, actually, I saw in the video, you're like, macro trends. The way you do that, man.
Got to keep it fun, Got to keep it fun.
In fact, that's where you bring a certain level of artistic ability that no one else has. I seen it right away, not just in the DigiByte ones, but in all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But you have that. Let's start from the beginning because I'm more interested in from your humble beginnings before you were a TA analyst. Mm-hmm. And I also want to get into the TA a little bit more. But from the beginning, when I watched some of your older YouTube videos, it was mainly you one-on-one with your viewer, whoever that might be, right? Because you were beginning. Yeah. And you were giving them needful, knowledgeable wisdom and that you've learned. And you were actually, it almost looked like you were going through it too at the same time. I don't know if that was spiritual. I don't know if it was just something that you had to share. Can you explain that and walk us through how you did that? Because I know people see the ability in people. I don't know if someone pushed you to do that or you decided to do it yourself. Did you feel like you were in a corner in your life, or did you feel like something in your life had to change and you wanted to share your progress, some of the things that you're talking about, you were dropping, and and you know what? There should be more views on those videos. By the way, maybe you need to re-upload those things.
Yeah, my angles were off. Is hard lighting. I was angling up towards the sky. So guys, like my format has improved over the last couple months because the metrics help you understand why your videos get a lot of views, right? But just to lead up to that, I come from a very, like you would say, like a corporate background. Worked in pretty much aerospace defense my entire professional career, which is not super long, right? About 7 years or so. Started at Aerojet Rocketdyne, which built like the propulsion system for the space shuttle for like 5 years or so. Then hightailed it down to El Segundo in Southern California to work at Northrop Grumman. Was there for about a year or so. And during that time, I was on the quest for like, improving my, I guess, living situation, just rising up, being an ambitious young man, right? And it was pretty much because of the traffic in Southern California, guys. It was like 2-hour drive each way, gridlock traffic. I had a lot of time to listen to audiobooks and YouTube. I went through like a ridiculous amount of educational content, And then during that time at Northrop, crypto started popping off 2017. Now I've been in Bitcoin for since 2013, but like I bought a little bit. It sat in my closet on a CD because it's Bitcoin Core Wallet. A lot of people don't know about that, but there wasn't nice hardware wallets back then. Right. Almost lost my password.
Dang.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. So basically, I'm looking at crypto popping off, and I'm like, wow, possibilities. There's actually like opportunity, because you guys probably know how it is, right? Like nothing changes day after day. Your cryptos don't move. You start like losing hope, right? And I go to that point because it is kind of spiritual in my mind, right? Because listening to all these people on YouTube give me free content. It's more I ever learned in school.
That's a fact, by the way. I have to agree with you there. I've learned more on just social engagement platforms that I could pick and choose who I was going to let influence my life and discard the phonies.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, hey, this is really impactful to me. Like things started making sense. And you never know, like you learn something pretty well until like you like start comparing your knowledge base to other people and seeing. And I started seeing like I was outgrowing some of those channels, but I recognized the how influential they were to my like mental development. And I was like, okay, this is like real. This is like people helping people on the internet. Like I want to do that. Like I can do that, So I just started a YouTube channel.
Who were the people that you watched early on before when you were gathering up your knowledge and when you were actually proving out that action of wisdom, testing out the waters? Who did you watch? Was it like, say, I don't know, other mentors that were uncrypto related, and was there people crypto related?
Yeah, it was a smorgasbord, right? Because I get tired of like things really quickly, so I'm like jumping around. But in the beginning, I didn't know anything about finances, right? So it was like it started like, okay, you got your expenses have to be less than your income. Now you have investable capital, like that kind of easy stuff. And then like, oh, okay, like where should I put my money? I got to understand the macro landscape. What's a good thing to invest in? That's why I ran into like Robert Kiyosaki, Think and Grow Rich, where I just like foster that mentality to, okay, I could like reach out and touch what I want. And then Mike Maloney, David Morgan, Sound Money guys, anyone in crypto probably knows those names.
Yeah.
Then Gregory Mannarino, I watch him every day, right? Because he's like my self-proclaimed stock market like guru. I have people I look to help like me understand what's going on because I don't have the need or the want to like keep my pulse on everything.
Some big names here.
Yeah. Great. Gregory Mannarino. Then I got into like, the TA stuff because in 2017, I was watching a lot of YouTube channels. I'm not ever here to put anyone down, but I feel like they didn't offer the yin and the yang of the situation. It's not lying, but it's like also like, let me know I'm a smart person too. And that's how I try to approach my fan base or my followers. It's like, hey, this thing could go badly too. You guys should know the risk, It's up to you to pretty much size your risk accordingly. So I try to attract adults, but I treat them like adults. Because that's the kind of follower I want. I want the follower who's like trying to stretch themselves mentally, not there for like the epic gains all the time. Epic gains are cool, but like it's also like a platform I'm using to like shoot my ideas off people. Like, let me know. I don't cover all the news. There's a lot of news, and drop it in the comments. It's like collaborative that way. So as much as I'm trying to help people, like people helping me.
I just want to say a little bit about that. I know this is your interview, but I just wanted to, because guys, this is the first time we've really talked. So, I mean, we're all an equal playing field here. When I got into it, I knew nothing about cryptocurrency, knew nothing about stonks. I knew money value. I knew the dollar was trash, right? I knew this much because in 2011, I watched a documentary about the value of fiat, right? And where did this come from? The origin of fiat. And it just enlightened me. And this was way before I knew about cryptocurrency, because obviously Bitcoin came from 2008, underground, unknown to the masses. And obviously I was a dummy and I wanted to learn something, right? I was actually looking for something, some meaning along with it as well to my life. And, I stumbled on a lot of great things. And it reminds me of do your own research. But today, fast forward, I see people wanting the fast gains. I was there, but I didn't fall into the hype of it. I understand, hey, I would like some good gains. I would like to be, wealthy, but there's a lot of hard work and patience. And I knew that, but it's easy as a young child in your mind to fall in the trap that we're going to get some big gains over here tomorrow, right? And I knew that was wrong. I had intuition. I had foreknowledge just within my own obedience level in my mind that I fell for that trick before in my childhood. I'm not going to go that route, because to me, that's youthful lust, youthful thinking, just let's do it, right? And people get taken. And I guess you can say pigs get slaughtered, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and just to touch on that real quick. It really comes down to you give a man a fish, he eats for a day, you give him a fishing pole, he eats for a lifetime.
Yeah.
You need to focus on the process. And that's the thing. I always tell people, hey, you get money, you're probably going to get some money investing in crypto, especially where it is if you have perseverance, but you're not going to keep it. You didn't learn how. Like, it's trying to catch something through like open hands. So like focus on the basics. And that's why like I brought up like Think and Go Rich, Jim Rohn, like people who talk about like business ethics, how to be viable in business. It's because like, hey man, like at the end of the day, people are people. You got to learn how to work with people. You got to learn how to network with people. That's going to take you farther than any quick gains will. Like, on top of that, quick gains help out, but you got to understand how you got it so you can repeat it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And how to handle those gains once they finally come.
Yeah. And one thing is like people, and it's kind of sad. I think a lot of people agree when I say this, that the traditional like school system has failed so many people in terms of financials. So many people. Like when it comes to, hey, the very simple idea of buy low, sell high. That's easy to tell someone up front. They'll remember it and they're okay, hold up, buy low, sell high. You know how many people haven't heard of that? Like, so that's why I try to just give out simple advice on my channel. There's so many TA channels that are so complicated. And if that's what you want and that's what you aspire to be, there's plenty of them out there for you.
Oh yeah, but you can get lost.
My channel is just practical information that, okay, it's getting a little high. I learned about bottom trend line. this thing's very extended from the bottom trend line. Maybe I should hold off. That's where I'm going to catch people, because we're so close to what I believe is an incoming bull run, not financial advice. But like, these things take time to learn, and it's better to preserve your capital. Sometimes that's what gets you through.
Yeah, for me, I just look at some of the things that that I've learned through this crypto journey, and we haven't even began with yours yet. That I learned that this is going to be an investment for the long term, dollar cost average. I've bought high, sold low, made those mistakes. And it was just basically everything I was seeing and hearing people what not to do. I was doing those what not to do. I literally just had to flip the scale, kind of like, all right, rethink everything I'm doing. But there was also bad advice out there that seemed good from YouTubers. And like, I really thought, let's leverage this thing to the moon. And I'm glad I didn't fall there, because I wasn't ready, first of all. And I'm not doing it today only because I feel more grounded with people that have a firm foundation, and I feel safe that way. And you seem like you have a good foundation, not just through your TA, guys. He does TA. So if you guys have any questions, drop it down there in the conversation for Dub. So how in the world did you get into crypto? Was it a friend? Did you just discover it? Because you did say 2013 where you stored some Bitcoin on a disk.
Yeah.
And what sold you for crypto? And did it literally change the direction of what you wanted?
Oh yeah, I think it does for anybody who actually sees gains come out of, you wake up and you made money. That just changes your mindset of money real quick. Especially if you're working hard for it. But in terms of getting into crypto, 2013, I had a computer science major best friend who was always on forums and stuff, and he had been following Bitcoin before then, but he approached me and said, "Hey, Bitcoin just dropped down from its all-time high of 1,000." I was like, "What is it now?" And he's like, $100. And I was like, "Okay, what's Bitcoin?" And then the same thing. And then he explained it to me. But I at that point I had a 101 economics course under my belt. And we talked about supply demand. And those charts, if you guys know anything about supply demand, it's supply goes down, demand goes up, price increases, vice versa. And I was listening, I was like, okay, tell me about Bitcoin. He was like, okay, there's only gonna be 21 million. I was like, okay, that's a limited supply. Oh, can they cut it up? Yeah, but there's never going to be one more than 21 million. It can't be inflated. And I knew about the Fed and all that by that time, because I looked at 2012 and I saw the QE programs. And I didn't know much about economics, but you don't got to be a rocket scientist to know that printing money's not good for the purchasing power. Right. That's a 101 level econ class there. Those are the concepts I got me into crypto. Who would have thought? And so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get some, man. Because if this true and it acts like a sponge to suck up everything that's being printed right now, I thought of it like the ultimate sponge.
Yeah.
For the ultimate inflation, right? Because there's no slowing it down. So I said, if that happens and it sucks it up, that means it's pretty much unlimited money. So I wouldn't have to even put much money in to reap unlimited benefits. So to me, it's a cost benefit analysis. I was like, okay, couple, whatever, $100 or whatever, and then bang. And then it turned out to play out, and I was like, what the heck is this? I was like, what is going on, man? So
it's you stumbled on the end of the rainbow.
Yeah, and then I was like, I gotta get my Bitcoin off that CD. So that was a whole thing. I happened to get some of my words messed up. My friend actually ran a cracking program to undo it. Thank God I knew most of the password, but I was sweating bullets. No lie.
Yeah.
But that was about 2017, around then, when it was running up, because it was becoming significant money. You guys hear about those guys who their girlfriends dumped their computer in the landfill.
Oh yeah.
With 3,000 Bitcoin. It's I was feeling something like that. Not to that extent,
Well, they actually found the location of where the computer would be, and they still couldn't find it. That would be really frustrating. Coughing up money to dig in a landfill. What a story, man! I remember
Yeah,
it because you're thinking to yourself, that guy was a $60 million man
I
or
know.
more. You know, I mean, like or more. But
I know, and that's the thing, guys. Like, if you weren't around in crypto that early, no one thought it would be anything. Yeah, they got it, but like maybe $5, maybe $10 at like a bull case scenario. It wasn't like ever planned to be like this because like when you think about it from a macro trend kind of view, like central banks printing, Bitcoin sucking it up makes sense. You see it in your head, but when it plays out, it's like, uh, whoa, So, hey, I feel for those guys for sure.
you
But
know, when you say Bitcoin is like sucking everything up, the inflation, the dollars, any kind of value asset that has value, someone sells their gold to buy Bitcoin or sells their silver or sells a car. I've heard cases they sold their houses for 150,000 on the low to get in on Litecoin. And I've seen these testimonies. Bitcoin is literally, and cryptocurrencies is a sponge. Literally.
yeah, it
It's
is.
literally transferring from the wealthy to the poor. If the poor wisens up, if they see what's going on, this isn't new stuff. This is just things need to be explained in a simple term. Take your dollar, make it a Bitcoin.
Yeah, and that's
Do
the
it.
thing because like I like to study economic history.
Mhm.
And if you do that, you realize, oh, this is not the only and the first economic transition. This thing used to be backed by, gold. Then it was backed partially by gold. Then they removed gold. Then it was a fiat currency system, Bretton Woods and all that. This is just another transition, this to sound money because the pendulum always swings back and forth over time. So we have the pendulum that goes like, real assets overvalued, paper assets, business assets undervalued, swings over here. And I think we're over here where paper assets are overvalued, real assets, including cryptocurrency, because it's an asset, it's not credit, is undervalued. That's just my take.
Well,
But same with everything,
I,
like
I,
houses, farms.
I think it all goes back also. Yeah, you're talking about land, real assets that somehow the government controls.
Yeah.
We can only purchase a fraction or uh, value our houses because we live in it and we say it's ours because we're paying it off. When all actual reality, it could be repossessed. What Nixon did was separate the gold standard and just inflated the dollar. Basically separated it. Wasn't right away, but it was inflating where they have control of the gold now. They didn't want China to take the US dollar and get gold. That's
Mhm.
why they did it. And they probably thought it was for the best interests of America. But what you did now, that all the fiat wealth or any asset connected to that paper can now be dumped into the people's gold, which is Bitcoin, and all cryptocurrencies that actually have legitimate function and promising future that works together with Bitcoin. And that's just huge. You're taking a failed system and putting it in a system that's going to change everything. And actually, you took it from a metal to something that's versatile and you could do so many things with it. The future in that aspect is, unlimited,
Mhm.
especially digitally.
Yeah, and it really comes down to, sorry to cut you off, but it really comes
But
down to like unchecked government spending, guys. That's the real catalyst of all this. It's because the government, if you know, and I've worked with the government and government contractors before, they want to spend every single buck in their budget because it doesn't roll over next year. with a system set up like that, it's not trying to take any efficiency into account, and the government keeps growing and growing and growing. So in order to finance itself, they have to do it.
They replaced my highway, 70 highway.
Yeah.
I don't know. In my lifetime. 6 times? For what?
Yeah.
Just to spend the money. Just to do it. And, and actually, a lot of that money was pocketed somewhere. In fact, the Chiefs Stadium, because I live in Kansas City, the people had free parking when the stadium was built. Then they raised money. The city, the people that live in Kansas City for the Chiefs Stadium, raised money to put a dome on it. And these contractors are supposed to come in and put a dome on it. I don't know where that money is, but there's no dome on the Chiefs Stadium.
They just don't talk about it, right?
They don't. And when you bring something up, they do not want to talk about it. No one knows anything about it. When you bring something up, now what's going on is they're charging like $50 to $100 for a parking ticket at the Chiefs Stadium, where the original deal of that stadium on that property for all the people that live in Kansas City, that's free parking. And the people just ate it up, just like our fiat, man. Just like this illusion that we live in, we just forget what's for the people and by the people. And we just allow them to just make up a bunch of funny rules. Did you see, I know this was recent, but did you see Brian Armstrong, his tweet of what the Secretary of Treasury was trying to do, pass a bill to litigate and expose who is in for every stop of Ethereum transactions? Or did you see something like that?
No, I didn't see that.
That's huge, man. I mean, I know I talk a lot of trash on Brian Armstrong's exchange, that it's got a crash button whenever well, I want to stop hold up, I need to sort out
something. Yeah.
But they should have probably fixed that. But he is trying to stop whatever Snoochie Boochies is trying to do in the Treasury there. Trying to put regulations in between every business transaction, which would be, I mean, imagine DeFi, out of all the transactions and all the staking and all the things that people are communicating by their cryptocurrency, all put to a halt, saying who you are, who you transacting with. How are you going to do that? You know what that's going to do? You're going to freeze the whole thing down.
Maybe that's what they want.
That's what they want. They want to stop it.
Brian Brooks is an interesting character because he's done stuff to at least get Congress and the United States government talking about it, right? Guys, if you haven't been in crypto, government didn't even talk about Bitcoin. They'd laugh at it. You guys remember when there was that guy holding that buy Bitcoin sign behind Janet Yellen?
Yeah.
And all that. They still didn't say anything about that. Like, now they talk about it all the time. So in that sense, at least he brought awareness. But I hear you. It's the same old thing. They want to corral it. They want to control it. But like in the internet, they still really haven't figured the internet out.
No.
Yeah. And once you add a value layer on it, people just won't even participate in their economy.
Right.
Like, that's where this is really heading, guys. Like, the transfer of value internationally, globally, instantly, without national borders. Because what's a national border besides a word? So yeah, that's interesting. But really quick, just to go back on like why I sent out those videos, as far as like talking about trying to help people and like life advice and stuff. Well, because man, like I felt like throughout my life and all my learning, it like kind of sparked some gears to move, think about your life a little differently and stuff like that. And at that point in time, are you talking about the videos where I was like sitting outside?
Yeah, and some of them you had your shirt off. Your face was on the camera. You were actually giving some inspiration. I mean, like motivational, kind of trending on YouTube that way.
Yeah, man, I went through a rough time at my work spot. It was like a lot of work, like 60, 70-hour weeks. And then like once you get pushed to a brink, you're kind of like, oh, like what do I want to do though? Like what do I want to do with my life? Like what's going to give me meaning where I don't look back and regret like, doing this for so long. And I, had some like spiritual, like kind of phase in my life where I really dug into that. And I just felt like, oh, this is like people need to like start thinking about these topics. I don't need to convince them anything, just spark an idea, right? Because in order to find like what you want to do and what you're going to excel at, you got to find like the passion, but I feel like a lot of people don't even think about that, so that's what it was essentially for in the beginning.
In fact, a lot of people are so busy, they don't really reflect on who they want to be, or what, am I on the right path? And some of us find ourselves in that corner where, all right, I'm going to own up that I messed up in a couple areas. Maybe from the beginning of when I went on this crusade, looking out from the porch of my father's house at the street lights glow in the distance of the field, saying, what's out there in the world for me? And just have no direction, but just excited to go. Like we had the right intentions, but maybe each and every one of us had to look inside. Hopefully people get those intuitions to just slow down. Okay, am I on the right path? Some people go to the bitter end and literally destroy themselves. They self-destruct, and it's super sad when that happens. I witnessed it, but I was on collision course 3 times with my own problems, and 3 times intervention, rehab, AA, NA, just support, networking, and failing them 3 times. Basically, when I got really motivated to turn my life around, I had to. And I'm just thankful that I had that opportunity to, I wish I was strong-willed to do what most people are able to do right now in their youth, is to make up their mind. I literally rejected, I was raised against machine without knowledge,
Yeah.
I was the guy that would just go with everything. I was the guy getting drunk, going, woo, in the concert, not giving a rip. And here I am talking to Dub.
Yeah, man. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah. In terms of that, guys, like, I guess you would call it existential crisis. Let's sum it up, like just searching for that meaning because you feel a little empty inside. And just so you guys know, if you look at those videos on my channel where I'm talking in the backyard, that's actually the week I quit my job.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Quit my job. Right now, I saved up some money. I had a plan. I don't know exactly how it's going to end up, but hey, I just know I want to talk about crypto because ever since I got into crypto, I couldn't get enough of it, and I couldn't get enough of the people in it. It felt like I knew that these people better than I knew half the people in my life. Like I went to the Litecoin Summit, the first one.
Oh, did you?
2018. Yeah, and just like I didn't know any of these guys, but they sounded just like me. Like it's like something called like a soul tribe or something like that. I like to call it that. Crypto people like have more or less, we're all in it for different reasons, but we have shared values. If you're into the ethos and the OG reasons for crypto, it really started off as a libertarian effort, guys. Like very back in the day when it wasn't worth that much, everyone just like, hey, what are they doing printing money? Why are you paying like, income tax? Where is that stated? That's kind of like the school of thought I came from early on. Like just the individual sovereignty and autonomy. So, yeah, I just like said, I can't shake the feeling I felt being around people in crypto. So like, I wanted to reach out and give that because I see kind of some of that declining because of the price rises, but I also wanted people to be able to operate, I guess you would say more or less, more intelligently when they're hodling their bags. Cause like, it's easy to say hodl, but there's definitely better times to buy than other times. Right. So just adding a slight layer of sophistication on it. I'm not trying to make anyone like super intelligent. And I'm not saying like I'm super intelligent. Everything I've learned is self-taught. Everything I've learned is like from probably losses actually definitely losses. And I'm still sitting on losses from getting wrecked last bear market.
Right.
Like, I'll come out and tell you that. Like, this is how I've learned. I think it's the best way to do it. If it's not your style, that's cool.
Now,
You know?
you guys, if you don't know what I'm scrolling through his YouTube channel. Now, I was trying to. You've done a lot of videos, dude.
Yeah, because I quit my job. And I
There
was
it
like,
is.
at some point I was doing 3 videos a day.
Here, there you go.
Yeah, man. My hair was different.
See, everybody's done the car thing, the truck thing, man. I was there too. I was on Twitter doing the truck thing. What's up,
Yeah.
Trip Skynet? And I was just laying it out for people. I was really sold, for DigiByte. I still am. Dude, it's almost like some of the real like diamonds in the rough start out in their vehicle,
Yeah, and that's like on my lunch break, you know.
Yeah,
I
and that
just
was
had
a
to
getaway, wasn't it? It felt like a getaway. Like, all right, I'm getting away to do what I think I love to do.
yeah. Well, I got the feeling like, okay, well, I know I'm not in love with what I'm doing now. But if you don't do anything, man, like what's the plan? I might as well start getting something going, some traction. And like it started off this channel, the motivational mind. That's what I call myself. And hey man, like that's why I learned that presentation was important though. You could have all the gems in the world, but people just click off so fast. So I over time, like, jump cuts, music, an intro.
I'm starting to see that's exactly the phase I went through, man. I'm starting to see myself right here. If you look on my YouTube channel, but I didn't have a lot of them. I only picked and choose the ones that I had on my phone that I shared on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
But this was the same exact journey I had. Now, I haven't watched every one of these, but I see a progression here that right here, it looks like that you started people are people. This right here looks like you're actually raising up your hand, like you're giving some kind of parting out some wisdom that you learned. And then right here, this looks like a presentation thing. Your camera and everything, your quality started getting better.
Got a ring light.
And then now you're making thumbnails. I mean, there is a process with what you want to do with your brand. And yeah, I mean, I guess everybody starts off in similar fashion, but I like how you kept all your old stuff here. That's good because you got 11 views here, 19 views here. But then when you come up to, some of these all of a sudden community videos, 300, 500, 600. I guess this community wasn't paying attention over here.
That's all good.
Theta, guys, go watch the Theta visual video. I have noticed like how YouTube picks and choose how to tag the video. You first want to write down the tag. If you look, tag what your first word is on your title. So I say DigiByte everything. So DigiByte, people can see DigiByte, posted. When you search DigiByte, it will be there in the recent videos that were posted. DigiByte, tag that title with the same word in your tag first, then add educational, crypto, and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, you learn the platform for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And, with those earlier videos, it's really hard to crank that out like those life things. I realized like, hey, hold up. I'm running out. Maybe this isn't a sustainable channel. Maybe I should just sprinkle that in,
But you do have like thousands of views on these things. So,
well, yeah, like before the life stuff.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm not that old and I haven't lived that much life. I have some lessons, right? But I realized like, okay, I can kind of like sprinkle that mindset and like lessons throughout like community crypto videos. Cause like, I don't know why it is, but a lot of people in crypto have similar journeys that I had. in terms of like searching for meaning, looking at crypto as like hope in a way, as a way where people like connect. They talk about like, things that are important to me, autonomy, self-reliance, sound money,
Yeah.
So it seems to fit pretty well. I don't try to go overboard with it. And, I'm definitely trying to balance some entertainment value in it as well. But I'm happy with how the channel's going. Very happy with it.
So I have let me exit share screen here. I have some questions.
Sure.
Let's see. What's up? What will be your price prediction for DigiByte for 2020? I'm taking it. Mark, you're asking Dove here.
For DigiByte?
DigiByte price prediction for 2021. So, yeah, go ahead.
Well, that's rough, guys. And I don't do a lot of price predictions on my videos because it's like, I'm throwing stuff out on the wind. But I just try to do it for like logically. Like when I looked at Litecoin, and I'm going to get to that right now, but when I looked at Litecoin, I said, okay, it's 4 times the supply of Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin is this price. So I divided by 4 per coin. It makes sense. Of course, adoption, all that plays in a part. I can't really tell that because I'd say DigiByte has a lot of tech and like solutions that are very valuable to the market. How adopted will be, that really depends on, that determines how much money flows into the asset. But we know that DigiByte has 10 times the amount, right, of Bitcoin. It's 21 billion, right? So with that said, just take the amount of Bitcoin you think it's going to be in 2021 divided by 10. And that's probably the most solid number you can get to without like throwing a chart up. But I know that DigiByte all-time high in 2017 was 15 cents or something like that, I believe.
Yeah, 14
cents. 14. So like as a rough guesstimate, what I like to do is I look at all-time highs for coins that have that from last bull run and multiply it by 10. So we're looking like what, $1.40. And like that wasn't too far off if you look at the Bitcoin price. If you took the $1,000 from 2000, the last bull run that I got into crypto, multiply it by 10, that gets you to 10,000. Yeah, it overshot by 100%. So there's a margin of error there, obviously, and always because of FOMO.
Because of hype and fear of missing out.
Yeah, that's why, guys, this stuff is so explosive. There could be orders of magnitude up or up, usually up, right? Because if it's hypey, it's gonna go up. But with that said, I think $1.40 would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree with you. It has the potential. I think it's going to hit 33 cents. My opinion. But a lot of people disagree with me. I'm being too conservative. But when you do the math like you do it, it all makes rationale sense. Okay. So, and it's proven those things time and time again. I believe Chainlink was an anomaly. I mean, I have no idea what was going on there. Probably the partnerships and all that. But Chainlink is still very much bullish than any crypto I've ever seen.
Defying gravity, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but I think Chainlink might see its day of reckoning before, it gets a little bit more momentum. It might have a downside, but I think it's very conservative as well to say DigiByte could hit $1. And I've seen people on YouTube discredit that whole theory, but I mean, you see crypto like XRP, XLM, Chainlink. I mean, for gosh sakes, guys, I looked at, Crypto 2000, market cap 2000. This thing went 157,000%. It didn't even hit a penny yet.
Like, how do you even map that out? Like that's the thing with traditional finance they don't get. Like Wall Street doesn't understand. Like how do you map out a parabola? And how do you map out like unlimited fiat currency being printed? And on top of that, maybe universal basic income. How do you map that out? Expansion of monetary supply in tandem with just straight hype. I know it's very high. At the end of the day, I don't even think top economists have a handle on this. A lot of people don't even understand crypto market. It's very different. It's condensed in how it moves. It's explosive. It's global. It's a global market. Like when we talk, I say $1.40. That's the future increased monetary supply, guys.
Yeah.
On top of stimulus, on top of ever increasing war budgets, on top of everything.
On top of people selling their houses, to get in.
Yeah, and credit, taking loans. That's credit is money that has never existed before. It's essentially an addition to the monetary supply that people really don't count.
Right.
So like when you put it in when you understand it and understand that crypto is a deflationary sponge sucking up all this extra monetary supply, you really start to understand that, hell, I don't have any idea. That's why I'm not so precise with my numbers, and because I understand the uncertainty of the whole situation. I just know that it's up. I know the macro trend is up, not financial advice. So that's the beauty of investing in a macro way. You save some money on the side so you can participate in buyer discounts, but then you let it ride. And talking about Chainlink, I pulled my initial investment out of Chainlink, so I have half of my initial position right now just riding. So I don't care what happens to it. See, that's what I like to do. I like to deleverage myself from risk too when I have the opportunity. So I'm playing with
the same thing. I did the same thing. I agree with you there. Guys, I just want to reiterate, and just for the viewers that are watching, give or take 9 to 12, it keeps bouncing around. Guys, the macro trend is very important, because when you have the bigger picture in your brain and in your heart, and just knowing you have some calmness about the whole thing, because I do. It's one of those things where I'm not so magnified on the minute or the 4 hour or whatever. That drove me crazy. At first I didn't see it. I was trading like that first when I was dabbling in.
Mm-hmm.
Once I started pulling back away from it for a little bit, started looking at it, I realized, wow, how freaking weird was that, man? Just reevaluate myself, saying, all right, it's macro or nothing.
Yeah, because everyone comes from traditional stocks or stonks, right? And you're happy for 12%, 10%, 8%. But like you understand that these things could fly hundreds of percent, thousands of percent. You're like, okay, well, I guess I could hold it a little longer. Why wouldn't I?
Have a little patience.
Have a little patience. Yeah, guys, everyone starts there though, right? You don't understand time frames. 4 hour, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. You don't know what time frame affects what. I was doing most of my analysis on the month chart, which means year trends. I didn't know that. That hurt. That's the stuff. Like now I know that. Now I know like my sweet spot's the weekly. Because I'm looking at months. But as you as an investor, a crypto investor, you're gonna learn what's best for you. Your goals. My goals might be different than yours. You might want to be an intraday. That could be your bread and butter. That's fine. It's just not how I prefer to invest. Not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's different.
Yeah.
I
got another question here from the Ghost. Government is slavery. Translates literally to control the mind from Latin.
Yeah.
I guess that's a statement.
I could expand on this on the statement. Yeah. The governments aren't, and just any entity in general isn't in an interest of giving you autonomy or personal freedom, because then it ceased to be the entity.
Yeah.
So like That's why governments were initially made small in this country with limited power and broken up state power, republic. Because it happens anywhere you look in world history. There's always just a body that grows bigger and bigger and just controls. So I agree with that to an extent.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. This is Chief Hindsight Analyst. He is a DigiByte fanatic.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
In it, DigiFam.
Nice.
Let's see here. DigiByte or just nibble? Intelligent young man you have on tonight. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. We have a wide variety of intelligent beings in this planet. It's hard to get a hold of one. Got him, guys. We got him. So
Nice.
ask your questions.
Nice.
What's this? There you. Do you know who Tori Grossman is here?
I myself personally know.
Oh, he's part of the DigiByte community. He's
Mhm.
a gem too. I found him. I did a interview on him.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're into 9/11 and Pat Tillman from the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know if you know anything, but he enlisted in to fight the Afghanistan war.
Nice.
And he was used as propaganda. His death to make him a hero to prolong the war for people to enlist and fight against the Taliban. And they said he was killed by a Taliban firearm or bullet, whatever have you. And it was really friendly fire. So
Information warfare, right?
now
Yeah.
Tory here, he joined that company, the same company that Pat Tillman was in. So, yeah, he told me all about it. It was really great.
I'll check it out. I'll check the interview out.
1000X. There you go, man.
Hey guys, honestly, guys, like DigiByte, I like the chains have been around a while. Okay. Like I don't fall in love with one coin because I have like 30 something coins. Okay. I'm all over the place. But with that said, I have reasons for every single one of them. Because the way I see the space growing, moving forward, interoperability is the name of the game. I'm going to sit here and tell you there's some coins that do certain things better than other ones. I like those. I see the way that they could interact within the ecosystem. I think it's also going to be spread out geographically. I think country so-and-so is going to use this chain to transact between, Eurasia and whatever. Right? I think it's going to be a big network, a spider web of blockchains. So when DigiByte, I see, DJID is what I really got drawn into, like as a use case, because I don't see too many chains trying to attack that, and DigiByte's been sitting on that for like the longest time. Like they also have like what they're talking about using, like tracking coronavirus cases or something like that.
Yeah, like keeping you being able to track it, but yet trying to keep you privily private. I think was the DigiByte app used for in the Netherlands for the Dutch.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like, look, there's coins that have actually had real utility and use case within the world so far that hasn't got the attention it deserves. Some coin just their price blows up when something happens. Hey guys, in 2017, that happened like every day for every coin. All you had to say was, I think Microsoft is going to take a look at this coin, and the price like blew up.
Well, you know what? That's funny because Microsoft is actually liked a Atom ID, DigiID, my DigiPassword technology. We're talking about the cloud. Microsoft actually liked that. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. So like to see DigiByte just not get listed on exchanges, I get it. Exchanges are now money making machines, right? Got to pay them out dough to get listed on there. DigiByte's decentralized. You guys are like grassroots blockchain, like decentralized with multi-algo mining. So decentralization is like within the ethos of DigiByte. So when it comes, hey, pay me this much money to get listed, I get why DigiByte's not listed. A lot of people don't, right? I've been around long enough to see that though. And to me, DigiByte's a more old school kind of thinking in terms of crypto. And I like that because you guys are in the bear market or accumulation or whatever we're doing right now, and you're still going strong. I like those kind of communities, right? Because you'll be around, you're going to support when it gets crazy. You're not going to rage quit and go crazy on Twitter. Like, so.
Yeah, I wish I had a lot more viewers here live.
That's
Don't make me give away some DigiByte, people. Dang.
I'm having a good time.
I am too, man. I am too.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What would I put up? Just got on here. You'll see DigiByte being used by the government in 2021. Sure. I mean, I've done plenty of videos about it myself. My concern with the government using any kind of crypto, it could be used maliciously. I think it's going to be blockchain wars eventually. I really do. If the government's sounding off ram horns about superior regulations where they have full control that everything falls apart, I think you're going to have blockchain wars. Really, I think the government's going to create their own digital currency, their own blockchain to have supreme authority, and you can't use any cryptocurrency without complying or connected to their system. Now, that could be allocated with agreement of usability that is decentralized. We don't want, like I mentioned before, we don't want social credit score. That implementation with blockchain would be a bad deal. Here's how I look at it. Quantum computing, which is arguably far off, but they're trying to get to it. AI has already been launched. It's already been on Facebook. It's already been on every social media platform. Here it goes. If you have AI already playing 10 the best chess players and beating them on a computer and beating all the old Atari games at the same time, okay, you do not want AI to have quantum computing, because in my personal conviction of quantum computing and AI, quantum computing, if successful, is the consciousness of AI. You don't want those things mixing. And I think blockchain technology, especially DigiByte, will be the best contender, the best fighter against AI with that kind of AI weaponry, Skynet level.
Well, yeah, because I think that like with the multi-algo mining is the main thing for me. It's like, okay, that's a real decentralized system. You look at other blockchains like Bitcoin, Bitmain in China, pretty much owns the whole thing. Ethereum, China. There's other people too, right? In other countries. I'm just throwing China out, but
yeah.
Think about it though. I like to think of like, okay, what realities could play out? Because there's different ways things can go in the future that you're not expecting. It doesn't always go your way, right? So I like to have like a plan A, B, C. And I'm looking at, okay, if the government adopt blockchain, why would they accept DigiByte? What do we know about the U.S. government? They like to control a lot of stuff, right? They like to have things under their thumb. DigiByte's multi-algo mining. How could they have a complete death grip on it? If anything, it would be a alternative in my mind. Like as far as the U.S. government's concerned, I have like a crackpot theory. I think it's USDC. I think Brian Brooks has ties to that in Coinbase too. So
yeah, and Steve Mnuchin's.
Yeah.
Mnuchin's, whatever.
And we just heard about, USDC and Ethereum accounts being able to be frozen from across the world. So it's all coming together. And when you think about it, USDC being already distributed throughout the community, via Coinbase without them telling you.
Was it IRS that were sending $150,000 to crack Monero?
Really? I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like, okay, guys, like they say crypto's this dirty asset. It's only for like drug dealers and stuff. I ain't never bought drugs or crypto, but okay. It like, like they just throw these wild things out there and then they seize the legally attained digital assets and sell them.
Right.
Mixed signals much, so hey, government can do whatever they want, but as long as they get their cut, they're down with it. I think that's why they're letting crypto go right now, because they're gonna get their cut.
Guys, I had to fast forward through the comments. We got Juan here. He is from Belgium. He is responsible for Atom ID development. How are you doing? And this is the first time. And Dub is my witness. First of all, congratulations, Atom ID, with all the implementations, with all the usability all over the world. How exciting are you over there in Belgium about it? I know you are. I know you're super excited, especially with the cloud and all that. Feel free. Hey, everybody, welcome. Welcome. My thing is since he's on here, Atom ID for DigiByte technology is literally pushing the envelope for people like you and I. And it's much needed. I mean, we're talking about self-sovereign identity. Mm-hmm. We're talking my DigiPassword logins. I explained it in one of my videos. I just imagine a node like this for DigiByte spinning really fast, and you use Atom ID with my DigiPassword to log in to your social media accounts with your personal password and seed phrase. And you log in like that. It's like a stamp in the node in the blockchain. And it's just used for a record. It's got a record of your identification of your login with your very own blockchain two-factor authentication mechanism. And no one can hack you. I mean, awesome. It's compliance, the compliancy of it, I mean, Google admitted that their two-factor authentication is whitewash, worthless. They wouldn't even use it.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I said I worked for like defense companies, government contractors. Like, it's mainly in space and like aircraft. That is Northrop Grumman. Yeah, and basically, like, I like to look at blockchains as how would they be implemented by big companies like as well. And with defense, national security stuff, authentication, authorization's huge. So there's a big market for that, because the time I was there, they switched out like two-factor authentication providers like crazy. It was wild. Turn in your token, get this token. Now you have a soft token. I was like, oh, this doesn't work. Unsynced. Call this person. It doesn't work. It's not practical. And like, if they're having trouble with me just trying to access my login and stuff, like, I'm telling you, someone over across the world is getting in there for sure.
Yeah.
So like, I totally see a decentralized way where companies don't even have to worry about getting hacked, because it's not possible. And it's provable by code.
Yeah, so. I've been hacked 3 times on Facebook back in 2008. And I've used Google two-factor authentication. And I've tried to use my own kind of under-the-radar VPN login. And it just didn't work.
It's crazy, right? And then like also the password manager thing, right? Password managers are great until the password manager gets hacked.
Yeah, well, first of all, those password managers are shared. When it says, it says, enter your password to validate who you are, and you type in your password, or you click, it says save password, you click it on your mobile device. Then it says, do it again, enter it again. Why do you have to enter it again? Well, because you're verifying what they saved. One's verifying you, and one's verifying what they saved that says that's you. That means they have your password.
Yeah.
And many people don't understand that. Like, I see it like, okay, you got to log in twice because you're not a bot, right? Oh, this guy's not a bot. He's a living human being. But now they have to tell you, here, before you do something, the bot's asking you, here, pick these anonymous letters, decipher the puzzle. How many freaking bikes are in the street, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I always fail those, man. I like, am I human?
I get really precise. I see the street lights, and this little corner of the street light is in the next block. I pick it, and they're like, "You failed."
It's like, are you counting that? Just pick.
But what I'm saying is you're verifying your login because they have the exact copy of your password. And I've called the customer service before, and I've railed on them. Listen, I want to get in there. They're like, the best thing we can do is you redo your password. I don't want to redo my password. I want you to give me my password. Yeah. And they'll say, sir, I have no way of viewing that. No, there is a way. They just tell you that there is no way. There's a way. Okay. Why is there any other procedures necessary if people are getting hacked, if the customer service is saying, oh, it's impossible for me to know?
It's like the 800-pound gorilla in the room, digital security, that no one talks about, right? Like, remember when the credit bureaus got hacked? Like 2/3 of America got everything leaked. I think I was in that. I don't know. I should check if there's mortgages taken out on me.
PlayStation 1 and the Capital America, or what's in your wallet, whatever that is.
Yeah, like I got hit by Experian or whatever, the credit bureau, and it's like, what do you mean you're gonna give me a LifeLock membership for a year? No, like, it's out there. Where is it? We don't know. What? Like, you start like understanding that the world is just more haphazard than you thought, especially when it comes to like securing your very, very crucial information. Like, hey, the whole point where, why am I updating my address with the DMV and got to go update on my voter registration? Like, nothing works in tandem in 2020. Like, nothing secure in 2020. And this is like just where I got sick of it. And I said, okay, the only people I understand is crypto people. They're thinking like forward. Like, I'm looking for forward thinkers, you know?
Yeah.
And I wasn't finding that just traditional anything. So
my DigiPassword is a password manager that doesn't store passwords. So that's the key. I mean, and so if you don't store a password on their platform when you log in, they can't copy it. And because they use a system where they have to have a digital copy of your password to even let you log in. So does that make sense? I mean, they have to save your password for you to type in your password to say verified, right? And when you change your password, you have to enter it twice. That what you're doing when you change your password or when you log in, you're willingly entering two shared passwords, one for you for validation and one for them to verify. So with Atom ID and DigiID and my DigiPassword, these are incredible technologies verified on the DigiByte blockchain that doesn't store passwords. Problem solved. And why isn't Coinbase using this? Why isn't Binance using this?
Because DigiByte hasn't paid the sum of money they need to list them. And if they're not listed, they wouldn't implement it, right? Like, it really comes down to business, man.
Revolution, right, Dub? I mean, crypto revolution. We got to have Ethereum this, Ethereum that. Where's the DigiByte? Hey, all hail DigiByte security. Where's the marvel that we, I mean, think about it. In the Bronze Age, they marveled in the Iron Age. Yeah. Fire and ice makes an iron sword more tempered and unbreakable.
Yeah, but like, this is where like big business is in the space now. Like, that wasn't what it was before. It was just like us. But now it's Wall Street, it's big money. People want that cut, and that's
right. They did
muddying the waters.
And to conquer people that were weaker than them just to test out their steel.
Yeah.
But I see DigiByte technology reinforcing our security, giving back our sovereignty, our control of our identification without literally handing it over. Being compliant to log in on social media platforms or government websites to search, to be free, to be a citizen of that country, but to really have our own self-sovereign identification. Let us be in control of our identification and let the government stay out of it with the means to, they had to police something. If something's hacked or something is misused or someone committed a crime, of course they're going to try to delegate that in the justice system, and rightfully so. But if we're not there committing the crime because we're over here authenticated somewhere digitally in digital space where we were, it's all tied to GPS and location, we're in the clear because we secured our own selves, our own position, right? I know I'm losing some viewers here, but I'm just totally right. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it really comes down to, at the end of the day, the traditional system, anything it is, has a layer of trust in it that glues it all together. It's trust. Yeah. Well, trust us. We're your password manager. Trust us. Why? Who are you? I don't know you. And that's the thing. Maybe I'm just have trust issues. But I think everyone in crypto kind of does, right? Because we see and we know how we're exploited online. Most people just don't. I think that's the real reason. And that's why they don't think it's a big deal for a product like this. That's why I brought up in my video. It's like, okay, DigiID, show me something that's like this decentralized. It could be implemented on websites like right now. We can do better. Why don't we do better? And, everyone's just like, oh, I haven't got hacked. It's like, cool, I have.
I have
so yeah, so it's a problem to me.
Oh, wait, no, 3 times on Facebook, twice in 2 other platforms that were supposed to secure my identity and my money.
I mean, yeah, and it's it's really like a push-pull thing. Like crypto's push, traditional systems are pull. They pull from you. So it's like, hey, I can, if I want to get into something, I'll give you the information you need to let me in, but don't pull from my bank account. Don't pull my password. I'll push it to you,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Juan says, we converted the DigiID AntimID to OpenID Connect Standard. Okay, OpenID Connect Standard. This is a standard of OpenID. To comply with corporate standards, we are now looking at the possibilities with Microsoft. So this is what I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's working with cloud services and stuff like that. And I think the gentleman that asked about the government usage and all that, that's going to take time. They're well aware, especially in Belgium, they're well aware of AntimID. They're well aware of the technology that it provides. You technically don't have to say it's blockchain because it's just a secure system altogether. If they want to poke and prod and see how it works, great. Then we can go a little deeper with that. But blockchain has this stigma where no one wants to get around it because they don't trust it, but it's the most trusted system out there right now.
It's too trustworthy.
Yeah, it's so trustworthy. They don't know what to think about it. They're unsure because they don't know how it works. But let's see. Like Juan here, he's really pushing the envelope for all of us. And it's compliant. It complies with corporate standards. And, and if that's the case, it complies with legal standards too. Let's see here. How do the sites that don't operate with DigiID, can the sites with passwords recognize the new generation of passwords? Am I making any sense? It's not that the sites don't recognize the operation of DigiID, AntimID, my DigiPassword. what it does is AntimID and my DigiPassword. What it does is it's giving you the capability to secure your login password, so they can't deny the digits that are going into the password when you log in or when you create an account. You see what I'm saying? So all that window is receiving, that key login, all it's receiving is generated code. All right. It's not shared. That's the point. The password isn't shared to them. It's compliant because it's your own two-factor authentication. And in our case, it's also backed by DigiByte technology. Just another step further and more secure, okay, forward-thinking blockchain. What it does is, I mean, anybody can get a VPN, guys, but it's up to that provider that you're on that won't allow you to have a VPN. Like, I guess in China, if you're trying to Zoom or on any kind of Zoom connection with China, the people at China will block that person from entering the Zoom call because they're using a VPN. Or the United States or in Europe or Australia, they're using a VPN and they won't allow the Chinese citizens to join that Zoom call because they're using a VPN, because that's their idea of compliancy. That's control, guys. That's something totally different. Right now, as I know, the whole world isn't communist, but the ideas are out there. But as it stands now, that's how that works. Okay, Phil?
Well, same thing for banking, right? Some banks don't let you log in with a VPN.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. I mean, you see what I'm saying, Phil? Do you hear us? Let us know. I never actually tried DigiID with password size. Try it out, guys. Try it out. Go to DigiID, AntimID.com or .io. Juan, which one is it? Appreciate y'all's knowledge. We thank you too.
Thank you.
Yes. Thanks, Script. Okay. He answered. My DigiPassword equals like LastPass. Store it on our platform. That's right. You don't store anything. That's what makes it so cool. And I mean, and how it works for us is the password linked with our seed phrase opens up the window to DigiByte, the node, and it verifies with the record of the timestamp. That's how it works, guys. Everything's on the blockchain. Just like your money. And Phil is saying, I'm going to try it out. Well, try it out. Go over there to AntimID and try it out. My DigiPassword. You can download it. Download the app. Yes. Third time one. Companies need to implement and open with OpenID Connect. It will be easy to do. Yes. That's the goal. Super easy to do. Thank you, Juan. I think we established the technology of authentication and all that with DigiByte. So you're a TA guy. I want some people were asking about some TA. I am kind of curious about your analysts. Actually, they're actually saying, Tori said BTC DGB. He wants to know. We also, did you pull up the USD?
Yeah, the USD.
Go ahead and share your screen and just give us a glance what you think DigiByte is doing.
I'll show you guys what I look at, right? So let me share it real quick. Can you see my screen?
It just popped up. Yep.
All right, guys. So this is DGB USD tether, right? Yeah, so it's a dollar equivalent. Doesn't go back to 2000, when DigiByte started, but this is good enough, right? So basically, we see the drop down 2018, which is the start of the bear market. Everything was falling down. Bitcoin is falling down. All coins, yada yada yada, right? And then recently, starting in May or so, Well, I remember this, guys. You guys remember this? Obviously, you do. This huge run up. DigiByte was killing it. Was it 800 something percent? So pretty much, when you see asset fall, guys, like this, it came down. At least what's on the chart, 94%. That's something I'm just inherently interested in, right? Because I know about DigiByte, I know the use case, I know the tech, and that's something different that I do in comparison to a lot of TA people who just look at the chart. Like, I know the asset, I know the community, I know it's not going away, I know the value proposition. Therefore, when I see 94% fall in price, my ears perk up, because that's like 94% discount to me. Okay, so this run up, I wasn't like, well, I was holding DigiByte, but again, I bought around like 5 or something cents. I used the funds from like the Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin fork, right? But when I look at a structure and I see that there's some life in asset, the first thing I like to do is draw a bottom trend line, right? Now, this trend line can move as price history moves on, but we just work with what we work with. And we see some incoming volume coming in, some actually big volume coming in that spurred this big run up. So that's also telling me that I wasn't manipulated by whales. The overall sentiment of the market as a whole was saying, hey, DigiByte, there's something going on DigiByte, whether that was like an announcement or whatever, right? A lot of people at the same time got into DigiByte, shot this up. Now that could be inside knowledge. I don't know, because cryptocurrency, guys, you got to remember, is largely unregulated financially. Okay, so there's people talking, they tell their friends, their friends might have a lot of money, whatever. Or it might just be the community buying it up at, with each other. But we draw this bottom trend line, and then I'm always looking for like geographic patterns, like triangles. Triangles are my favorite because they're like they give you a expected breakout area. So I would do something like this and then just monitor. I might like have it up for a couple weeks, see how it plays out. If it breaks down below the trend line, then I would slowly readjust my bottom until I kind of hone it in and get an understanding of the macro structure that it's like occurring. So based off of what we know here, this could change. However, looks like within 10 days or so, this should break above or below the structure. In my previous video on DigiByte, guys, I'm always looking at what I could buy super low. I'm not trying to predict where it's going to go up here, because you can make profit buying a depressed asset just the same as buying an asset that's about to take off. And being my investment thesis is basically, I want to take the path of least resistance. I know DigiByte's not a shill coin, right? It's not like a flash in the pan. It's been around a very long time. Therefore, I'm comfortable buying in areas like this. But one thing I'm looking at, guys, yeah, DigiByte could be coiling up, and if some big volume comes in, it could shoot us up higher from this point. But I'd rather not focus on that. I'd rather focus on if the opposite happens. DigiByte collapses, right? I'm looking at, hold on, I'm looking for a circle. I'm looking at this, okay? To me, whenever I see extended runs up that occurred like March or so of 2020, which is interesting because oil went negative, pulled everything down. There's margin calls on the stock market. So most cryptos sold off. DigiByte ran up. Okay. But when I look at this, it's just like this extended run. That means that there wasn't a lot of save from the bears who would, you'd see some like up down candles. Whenever you see a red and green candle like this, that means that someone on the trade was saying, hey, I'm long DigiByte. And the red candle saying, hey, I'm short DigiByte. We just see a whole bunch of longs right here. People who are like buying it up.
Big time.
That's good. But just know, if something spooky comes through, and that happens all the time, it doesn't have to be from crypto or DigiByte. It could be political, whatever, an announcement. It could be monetary response, huge stimulus, whatever. People losing confidence. It really comes down to confidence game. If that happens, and this trend line here at about what? Is it 18 or $1? No, 1.8 cents or so. If it breaks here, where's the support that's going to keep this thing up? It's not here, right? So in that case, I'm looking at, it could be a big drop. Not saying that that's where DigiByte deserves to be, and I'm not hating on DigiByte, But the way I invest, I'm interested in only buying depressed assets. That's why I already have a bag and skin in the game on DigiByte. But with that said, though, should it turn around and hold on, let me find the bar. Shoot. But should DigiByte turn around and go the opposite way, I'll do a measured move for you guys just to let you know where it might head. Okay, so measured move is pretty much height of the triangle at the area of expected breakout. And actually, I didn't need that.
Well, it looks like Bitcoin just dropped 1,000.
Really?
Yeah.
And see, and guys, that's the thing, because altcoins are chained, whether you like it or not, to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the macro crypto asset that lets money from other sectors of the economy flow into crypto. It acts as the sponge, like they talked about, and then it leaks out to altcoins, which are more aggressive growth plays. But when Bitcoin falls, people freak out, right? And when Bitcoin goes up, people freak out.
Where does the line say for DigiByte right now? What's the price that it says where it's at?
It's 2.3 cents approximately.
2.3. Coinbase has got it 283 or 289, like almost 3 cents still. I don't know why. Maybe it hasn't reacted to DigiByte yet. But on that chart, we're fine. We're fine. Keep going.
Really? Huh. Yeah. Sorry, guys. There's arbitrage opportunities between exchanges, if you didn't know. Some exchanges sell a coin for a slightly more than other coins. So that's something else you can actually partake in, but we're not going to talk about it right now. So basically, from the measured move, we're looking at about 114%. Should some big volume come in and shoot us upwards. Okay, but I'm really only expecting that to happen, guys, because we're not above all-time high Bitcoin. I'm only expecting that to happen if Bitcoin does like a hovering move going sideways like we saw earlier this year. You know, ranging, what does it start in August through September or mid-October or so, when we had like a mini altcoin season where everyone was loving it, right?
Right.
Yeah. So with that said, there's a lot of its and buts in how I invest, but I have essentially two things I would like to execute, right? One, I'd be interested in buying more should it do that big drop. Because what do we know about DigiByte when it drops? Well, it dropped 94% previously, and then it ran up 800%. So just going off of history and what's occurred in the past, DigiByte doesn't go down and stay down. Most cryptos don't go down and stay down if they're worth anything, you know? So, but if it goes up, hey, that's great for me. That puts us at around 5 cents or so. Now, that's like breaking even for me. I wish I bought down here, but hey, this is how I approach charts, and I kind of monitor it over time for my community. Should there be like, you know, serious interest in the coin? Because as far as buying the macro trend, buying along bottoms, it takes time to build a position. You got to know, okay, I'm gonna back off. I might pick some more up here. I'm gonna sell here. It's a process. And that's something I wanted to bring to YouTube a little more, because you know some people put videos out and they never talk about it again, and people don't know how to navigate within the asset. So hey, I'm gonna look at what DigiByte does. Should it get broken down from this point? That might be an opportunity to buy. Should it shoot up? Depending on when you bought it, it might be interesting to pull profits. But I'm more focused on process over results, right? Like I tell my people, hey, develop a plan. What's your profit pulling plan? Like, what is the percentage gain that you would be happy with pulling profit at? You know, if you're open-ended, don't have an idea, then you're probably going to watch things shoot up and say, okay, no, 5 cents more. Well, you know, gains aren't unlimited, guys.
Yeah.
You know, I've done that, been there, done that.
You can, because I mean, again, you're coming from a macro trend perspective on the lows and the highs.
Yeah. You know, like I just see buying areas. Like I do this a lot. I'm looking for the square. Sorry, guys.
Now are you on? What are you on? TradingView?
Yeah, I'm just on TradingView.
It's accurate. It's 2 cents, just about 2 cents, 2.30.
Okay. So then I draw like squares here, like a green square for my following. And then I just save the chart, come back, in a week, 2 weeks. Hey guys, we dipped in the green area based on where I drew it. And I draw it based off of resistance lines, like, the structure goes up here, bottom of the structure's here. Anywhere along here, I'm not too picky about picking up coins because I know and that like when they take off, we're not going to be worried if I bought here, 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 here. No one cares about that if you hold your bags, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I invest. So if it's not your cup of tea, that's fine, But I think it's more practical for people who are just getting into the space. It focuses on, hey, this is not a quick fly by night kind of thing. It takes time and it injects a element of reality into investing in crypto that I like to distribute out.
Because of its March rise, I mean, for me, DigiByte is one of the few that led us out of this COVID disaster. I mean, it was going up while Bitcoin was still trying to find itself at 3,500. But the thing is like it moved that market structure from where right around 76, like just under a penny, to a penny. So yeah, I mean, I would buy it at a penny or just under a penny, or a lot more. I would accumulate a lot more in those areas. You're right.
Yeah, there's just a better time to buy. There's a time to wait and a time to buy, guys. That's basically my whole ethos in a nutshell. Sometimes the best thing to do is nothing, right? Because I bought some Bitcoin at 17,000. I also bought some way less than that. I'm happier with my buys at less than 17,000 than at 17,000. We all can grab a coin, but like if you're able to do it more in a more sophisticated way, you're not exposing your capital to risk, because when you buy high, you have to wait longer to get that payout. The longer you're exposing your capital, it could drop on you.
So I
could start.
consider myself, this is one of the few things that I have to admit before everybody that watches this, okay? I have to admit, I feel sometimes to try to be the hero to try to prop up the gains, right? I'm going to be the hero. I'm going to be the one that's going to create the short-term bottom and turn it around.
Yeah, man. I mean, that might have worked a while ago. Just too much money now.
Yeah.
In the space in general. It's too deep. It's way too deep.
Plus the bots.
Yeah. I mean, hell, I would love to do that too. I just don't have that kind of firepower under me in terms of like capital. But hey, there's people, you gotta also understand, guys, crypto is not financially regulated at all, pretty much, when compared to traditional markets. People aren't getting thrown in jail for doing like insider trading on crypto. I mean, that's what it is. When you share information with just your friends and don't tell anyone else or don't do a press release, it's insider trading. But it's not prosecutable in crypto right now. So like you also have to understand that these moves could be manipulated to draw people in. By like Wall Street. We got JP Morgan with the trading desk. We got almost every major bank with a trading desk on crypto. And this is what these guys do. They've gotten very, very rich doing this. And now they're here. So every time something pumps up, you got to look at volume. There's just some things that I like to tell people, like, hey, if this thing shoots to the moon and there's a volume candle like that's super short, that means that's a big, big, heavy hand buying that thing up. And if that's happening, why are they buying that up? Why are they the only entity buying it? And that's what we call a divergence. And that just gives you a hint as to, is this thing getting manipulated? Is it getting pumped up to just a dump on me? Or if there's big volume candles like what we saw in March of 2020, that's more sustainable, because it means that the market as a whole, more participants participated in that price move.
I am seeing good volume all of a sudden for DigiByte.
Yeah, and I don't think that it's
down. It was downtrending if you look at the volume.
yeah, we have downtrending price and downtrending volume. That's pretty consistent. And then there's a big bump up here, and we have a bump up. This is all indicating to me that it's not being manipulated, but that's because DigiByte's not on, Coinbase and like some other big exchanges. Like, because you got to think about what is an institutional investor doing. They're not just nilly-willy investing in any altcoin. They have a manager that they got to report to. Why are you, involved with this kind of unnecessary risk? I'm sure there's coins that they're allowed to touch. I'm sure there's trading desk and what do you call it? Exchanges that they're allowed to operate on. So like with smaller coins, it's a gift and a curse not being on big exchanges in my mind. Right? Because this screams to me like authentic. Big volume, big price, shot up. Declining volume, declining price, that's good. Increasing volume, increasing price, good. But if you look at other cryptos, it's just like random and wild. And yeah, they're listed on Coinbase, but like there's sharks in the water over there.
Yeah.
So just something to keep in mind, guys.
I mean, granted, this flag here played out for a little over half a year, ever since what, March, or February,
Mm-hmm.
And then the Binance listing and the potential Coinbase listing, those were large candles. Those were news things. I remember after that run up, and then you see your candle there, this red with the really high wick.
Mm-hmm.
You see two more wicks after that, right above your circle, and then you see this big green wick. That was the Coinbase potential listing, the room. And then you see a big candle that went straight back down. And I was like, but that took like a few weeks, I think. What are we on, the 4 hour?
Now we're on the weekly. I was going to jump into the daily.
It took a couple weeks for that to go back down, and then the Binance listing, the actual listed Binance listing of DigiByte, that was the next candle. It just wasn't as large as the Coinbase one. A lot of people are taking profits on the Binance listing. It almost matched the Coinbase potential listing.
Yeah.
But then it came back down. Not enough buyers to sustain that. So I think what happened was, I mean, I'm just hypothetically, voicing my own opinion here, but when someone says DigiByte potential listing and you have 18 cryptocurrencies on this little piece of paper on a window that says Coinbase is thinking about listing this, and then whales pay attention to which crypto is going to react, and then another exchange says, I'm going to get on this action. Boom, we listed DigiByte. Who's game now? And then I think that's why you see a lot more profit taking sooner than you did with the potential Coinbase holders that were thinking this is going long term,
For sure. It's buy the rumor, sell the news, right?
Exactly.
And, yeah.
But we saw that kind of manipulation a little bit there, whether we like it or not. I saw it clear as day. Surprised about the Binance listing.
Yeah, CZ said some things. I saw that interview. Whatever, I mean, it's common knowledge that big exchanges want money, right? It's just like, the whole point of crypto was to remove the banks, remove the middleman, preserve more capital for like the actual user and like recipient of that capital. But hey, here we are again, taking cuts, demanding what do you call it? Ransoms to get your coin listed. I remember they floated that post out where it had like Ren, DigiByte, a whole bunch of them, where they said we might be posting this or listing this, and I thought, hey, why don't you just list them though? Why just list it, man? Like, and then they come out and they list all these random coins.
Oh, Coinbase or Binance? Because
Coinbase.
Okay, Coinbase. Yes, exactly.
It's like, hey guys, come on.
Coinbase a little different, man.
I just got into Ren before they did that. That was good for me, but always remember, guys, people pull profits. You might say, oh, they pull profits early. Well, it all depends when they got in,
I think Chico Crypto really, he's a little bit more intuitive of the exchanges and what they're looking into through sources that are clearly obvious about which, like Aave and uh, all these other coins that I didn't think that were going to be on Coinbase, and Chico Crypto nailed them, man, nailed them. And I had my chance to go get it or whatever, but I just didn't. I didn't want to get caught up with that. It wasn't for sure. And sure enough, he nailed it, man. A lot of people benefited off that. It was right before the DeFi actual operability of what it was, right before that. And then later, when they listed those coins, he spotted them out.
Yeah, I got caught up with the same thing, right? You listen to some YouTubers, some sources, they're saying some good stuff, and you're thinking, should I dip my toe into it? But I always come back and think, hey, do I believe in it though?
Right.
I gotta believe in it.
I knew nothing about it. I'm just trusting somebody else.
Exactly, because look, what happens when Aave does that? 90% down, 94% down. You're gonna drop it because you don't believe in it. So like conviction is the overlooked part of investing that everyone doesn't recognize. Like every coin I have is a use case. I believe in it. DubDigital. What happens? It goes lower. Okay, it's cool. I'm gonna hold it because I know why.
Do you ever trade? Do you ever set stop losses? Do you ever do that micro trading when you know there's some action going on?
Yeah, but that's more in the bull run, man. It's too up and down for me right now. Like you've been in the bull run, I'm assuming.
You, dude. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Just goes up, and in that macro environment, I'm more willing to like take a loss. But as far as in a drop or accumulation, definitely not.
When I see Bitcoin, let me try to pinpoint an area when I saw it move. 2 years ago, November, it was dropping hundreds and thousands going down. No, it was dropping thousands, like 6,000 at a time. But it was moving, it was shifting like this on the chart.
Yeah,
that's when you know, guys, something is up. Same thing when it's going up. Man, I saw it climb from 3,200. The candle on the chart that Dub is looking at on TradingView is freaking going like this. And and it's taking out chunks. That's when you get in and just let that thing ride to the moon, because that's all you can see is moon. I mean, it's smashing through target levels. It's smashing through a bunch of things until it starts slowing down and people start taking profit when it starts slowing down. That's all I saw, Dub. So It makes more sense to invest in that kind of movement because it's going one way. It's just gobbling up the sell wall.
Yeah, and that's why I say macro trends, macro investing. It's because like macro investing is essentially just knowing a direction. The financial environment is most likely to operate this way, meaning unlimited money printing, unlimited fiat monetary, supply. We have cryptocurrency eating it up. Cryptocurrency's only job is to eat it up, guys. That's all it's supposed to do. That's the only reason you have limited supply assets. Okay, that's why gold's price changes in the face of the US dollar. 1 ounce of gold doesn't change. 1 Bitcoin doesn't change. 1 DGB doesn't change. It's the US dollar's purchasing power that's fluctuating, right? And when you know that, and when the US dollar is going down, and I did some technical analysis of the DXY, which is the dollar index, the relative strength of the dollar index, you just see it moving all over the place. But people who don't know that the dollar's value changes. They just know $1. But when compared to other commodities, it changes. So when you look at everything together, I'm so confident holding my positions because things might deflate for a time. Like I think we're going through that now. But what happens every time the stock market crashes down to 20,000? They throw out a $5 trillion stimulus plan or something, or increase the spending budget or whatever. They've shown their hand what they're going to do, in my mind.
Yeah.
You know, and in that way, I'm weaponizing their next move against them. You know, and saying, okay, well, I don't think you have another way except to print. Because if you let everything deflate, then that's going to be horrible. There's going to be a massive loss of life. And I don't think they're down for that. The easiest way is to destroy the purchasing power. You know, and on that way, you know, it's really like a self-preservation move, guys. When you understand what inflation really is, you know, or from a country that's really seen it, it's you go from living in a house to living something 2 levels less. Like, you know, you just downgrade in general. So it's in your best interest to have limited supply, hard money assets, in my opinion, not financial advice.
No, I totally agree. Dub, my wife is sleeping next door. She's kind of rumbling.
It's all good. It's all good, man. Hey, and just really quick, I threw this Fibonacci retracement level up in here, guys. So the Fibonacci retracement level is essentially numerical values that play out through physics, like, and I'm not quite sure why, guys, but like hair grows in a similar spiral, seashells grow in a similar spiral,
Pi.
and they apply. Yeah, why? I'm not sure. That comes down to like the. Excuse me. Oh, pi. Pi. Okay. Yeah, but like we apply those values on charting, and for some reason, price action seems to seek out these levels as well. Okay, so I use the Fibonacci level to like understand in a move while the move's happening, like, okay, we're getting kind of extended. I might want to pull profits here. That's if I don't have like a designated percentage. Like sometimes, like if a coin's really risky, I'm like, okay, 100% I'm out, or I'm gonna let it run 300%, just based on what I see on the chart and how I feel like the price action is going. And sometimes I'll look at the price action moving up, and if it starts doing like this, it's dipping below and it's going up, and it looks shaky to me, I'm gonna pull some. Like, you know, I just use it as like a roadmap to help me understand, okay, red's bad. We're getting pretty extended. I could pull profits here. If I let it run and drops on me, that's on me. Like, you know, just having some basic tools to help navigate what your next plan is, because we all could buy digital assets, but that's not the hard part. The hard part is knowing when to let them go, in my mind.
Look where DigiByte hit that red.
Yeah, and you know, the one thing, guys, like, just look at what it's going to do, because I'm looking at this as well. Where is it at? So in my videos, I simplify it down. There's a lot of up, down, right? This area right here, that means buyers are like, nah, it needs to go higher. Sellers saying, no, it needs to go lower. Higher, lower, higher, lower, higher, lower. It went lower. But charts have memory, and when you start hitting that same point once again, then you're going to have the same amount of contention, because everyone who looks at charts looks at the same charts. And we're all looking and saying, well, look at here. All right, I'm going to put a limit order here, sell right here, or whatever. It just really comes down to like, everyone's looking at the same charts. People who know how to read charts are trying to take profits at the same levels. So I'm just trying to anticipate that. And if, you know, if I wasn't in the red on DigiByte, it might be a good time to pull some profits. But it all depends on when you entered, because me being a macro investor, I know that DigiByte's going to blow past this eventually. It's just that, do I want to wait around for it? Well, yeah, I do. So.
No, that makes perfect sense. You got a few tools in your basket here to figure out when to accumulate and when to take some profits.
I'm going to pull up something really quick for you guys. It's an altcoin market cap. This.
We've had steady About 8 viewers watching steadily.
Nice. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
I've seen 14 at once, seen 6. But yeah.
Awesome. So basically, this is what I've been looking at for the altcoin market cap. This is all the money wrapped up
I
in
see it.
altcoins. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I'm big on the fractals, guys, that the chart gives me that luxury. I like to look at the chart and be like, okay, like this looks like a scaled up version of this. And yeah, it might not be the same, but you got to understand what price action is on a chart. Price action is essentially plotting out investor sentiment on an asset. It's not necessarily what the asset's worth. That's what markets are for, to determine what an asset's worth. Within that process, things go up really high and come down very low. And it reverberates like a rubber band that you pull on, right? Until you get to that sweet spot. So with that said, though, this is basically telling you that this structure that occurred between May 2017 and September 2017 is similar in psychology and similar in what people are thinking in March 2020 to about September 2020. And I say that because if you know people are acting and
Totally
thinking,
see it here.
yeah, can you see it?
Oh yeah, I can see
Yeah.
it. I can see what your circles, but I can see the actual fractal pattern
Playing out. Yeah. So just remember, guys, they don't change from year to year. They almost don't change from century to century. Human psychology is human psychology. You know, we all like to think we evolve and we think differently and we're better than previous generations, but not really, because people get scared just like people 100 years ago. So knowing that, we can use fractals in, human psychology that shows out on this chart to try to predict what they might think in the future. So I'm going to just copy this real quick if you haven't seen my videos before.
I have to give you that's some huge info drops right there.
Yeah, when you think of price as just what people think, you realize you're not playing the market, you're playing people. Right? So I'm just going to scale it so you get the idea that it's bigger. But essentially, this structure is bigger in size because, one, there's more money in general. Like, crypto is just more established in general.
Yeah, it's a little higher than what it was before the first run.
Yeah, so bigger structure in the fractal means bigger, I guess, nexus point. Yeah. So basically, this means that the altcoin market cap, and see, it's already shooting up. So it might do a little drop. See, we had one right here, a drop down and continued run up.
Yeah.
But nothing's telling me that crypto should just do an implosion down. Like, the chart doesn't support that. So I'm looking for pretty aggressive altcoin market cap increase over the next, in the next year or so. And after that, I have no idea. After it gets past the all-time high, hey, your guess is as good as mine. But I mean, we're looking at 300% increase plus. I can't measure it because it goes off the chart. I'd tell you what, a lot of people thought this was impossible when it happened in 2017. And if I zoomed in farther for like Bitcoin, if I pull up Bitcoin's chart, they would say the same thing in 2013. Oh, it's never going to 1,000. You're crazy. But do you guys notice the trend here? It's consistently blowing people's minds, like blowing it. And that's what FOMO is. People who didn't believe in it, now late to the party believing it, throwing their money in. And that's why these things are so extended up.
You can't see my cursor, can you, Dub?
No, I can't.
Okay, that's good because I'm all over the place. But I also see the pre pattern, like look at the fractal, what appeared to be a fractal that looked more like of a establishment of ground, establishing a bottom back there in 2019, and then it stopped in
yeah, like that right there.
Up there. Can you see where I'm talking about? It looks like the same pattern that you had over here, but then it dropped again in September to 2020, and then where we're coming out of it in the beginning of 2020.
Yeah, and that's
it was just establishing ground there. I think it was just holding its ground.
And if you look at it, try to look at when you look at charts, guys. I really encourage that because I pretty much stared at charts until it started making sense to me. Okay, and look, huge drop down. That was like capitulation area in November 2018, December 2018.
I broke.
Yeah, but look for symmetry in charts. Where else does an aggressive drop down happen? Right here, February 2020, March 2020. You could call it the Corona crisis. You could call it oil going negative. I like to think it's oil going negative. Doesn't matter though.
The black swan.
Black swan event. Look at this beautiful symmetry happening on this chart.
Yeah.
Usually charts have symmetry. It's just not random movement. And just look at this. Nice up, nice up. If you look at it, it's just one big W. One huge W. Over what, 2 years, 3 years?
It's a win. It's a win.
It's a winner. It's a winner, guys. So basically, W's are bullish patterns because M's are bearish patterns because it's showing
call
like
that kind of a double bottom.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean that's what W's are, right?
Yeah. Two butt cheeks going to the moon.
Yeah, right. And just remember, guys, when you look at the macro structure,
yeah.
Okay. You said that this was establishing a bottom or at least a base, and the same
right there in the middle. The second part, yeah, it looked like right there.
Right
that
here.
looks like a fractal, but it was establishing some kind of ground. See, go back a little bit. Right? No, a little bit more. Keep going until I say stop. Boom, stop. No, that peak right there.
This.
No, the other peak.
This.
No, the one before that. The left, right. One more. The highest part. Yeah, right there. Now, from there to the recent bottom before that looked like the same fractal over there before the all-time highs, and then
right here.
Like the same fractal before we're going to new all-time highs. So that looks like battlegrounds for establishing a bottom previously. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I do see that. And you got to remember, guys, like just draw a line through these areas because I remember this area right here. Ethereum was trending like between I was buying a lot of Ethereum at this time. Like it was around $400. That wouldn't be a good idea for it to do a couple months before then. But if you saw I saw this triangle forming, it was very tightly constricted, right? And it's building pressure. And there's usually a resolve upwards. And at that time, crypto was so bullish, why would it drop like that? So Ethereum ultimately ran up to $1,400. That was a good move. But if you look at the chart, look at this. There's a line going through. Look at how much it deviated even when it dropped down. Even though this thing dropped down 90%, 91%, it didn't deviate that far from this line that we drew. Okay. And this is very important to look, where was the base established? Okay. Now I need to know that as this thing runs up, it's probably going to come down to the base eventually, whether that be in a year from now, whatever. You just need to understand, hey, I'm in territory that's dangerous. Knowing when you're in danger is very important when you're investing in an asset. Because, people are going to say, hey, just buy it. Just buy it. Just buy it. Okay, well, that's a bad idea if you buy up here. So I like to look at the chart saying, okay, around this area is probably where reality is. And again, I would say what's occurring again right here is probably where reality is. As this stuff runs up, I'm not saying you can't make money on trades. People make a killing doing that. I'm just saying, if your methodology is to hodl, there's a time and a place to build a position.
I also see that your first fractal that's circled, where you drew your market structure line, that was the previous all-time high. Something over here, something on the far left we can't see now because it's so far back in time.
Yeah.
That would zoom in. The previous all-time high before it dropped to that.
For sure. And I think that's going to come again, right? Because when there's sticking points. No one wants to buy the new all-time high, right? People will, but it usually comes crashing back down, and that's why you have resistance support flips.
Yeah, a new support up there on the previous all-time high.
Sure. And it might come down farther, but eventually, we'll do one of the whatever and boop
Some
and stick there.
magnetic pull on that market structure.
Yeah, whatever, but there's always a new all-time high, and it always comes back down. And then we consolidate for a little bit. People feel good, like, okay, I'm used to this price, and I'll go up again and again until it doesn't, right? And the bottom gets pulled out from under it. But if you guys are around for this bull run, no one could have expected like China and India at the same time coming out saying Bitcoin sucks, ban Bitcoin. I don't know what kind of chart you would look at to tell that was coming. So just keep in mind, there are events that can occur that could pull the rug out from under you.
In fact, guys, if you don't remember, or if you weren't around the 2017, 2018 pump, they did ban Bitcoin. They were open about it. Not only that, everybody was blaming this bubble pop on Bitcoin on China's New Year, cashing out to buy some presents or whatever it was.
Sure. Yeah.
Whatever it's your fault.
Whatever the reason is, though, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That a lot of people made a mistake saying, "Oh, we're just gonna get rid of cash like right now in 2017." Well, that did not happen. So based off of that, I don't know if cash is gonna go away. I really don't think so. I think that the central bank digital currency is gonna be here for a little bit.
That's crazy. China bans Bitcoin. You made a good point. They ban it. Bitcoin goes to the moon. And then the reason why it falls is because they were buying presents. That's just so freaking.
Doesn't make sense, though, And then you got to understand that China's a very authoritative country. They let certain messages get out and they don't. So what's the real reason? The world may never know.
Right.
But just want to, I just try to interject this kind of reasoning with my following to let them know, hey guys, even though crypto is super bullish to the moon, mad gains, there's other things happening in the world that could affect your investments, and you need to know about them.
Guys, my wife is up. She's gonna get mad at me. You guys gotta understand, it's 12:07 over here, and she has to get up early.
Uh-oh.
Dude, we've been on how long?
I don't even know. I'm gonna stop the sharing real quick.
2 hours. 2 hours. This is my besides the live feed for DigiByte, come and join us. and you know what? She won't tell me that I'm loud. I try to turn everything down.
Sure.
But she's just next door. I can hear her huffing puffing.
Uh-oh. Well, I don't want you to get in trouble, man. I know how it is. So
she's this tiny little thing, I just want to respect my wife, guys. I'm glad that we've had steady 8 viewers watching DubDigital. Everybody, give Macro Trends DubDigital a hand.
Thank you, everyone, for having me. Appreciate it, and we have to do it again sometime. It was fun.
Absolutely, guys. I mean, just put a 1 for a return, 2 for return. It's a win-win situation.
And nothing for return. That'll work too.
All right, guys. Dub, I just want you to do it one time. Say it loud and clear. Macro Trends. I want you to do it like you did on the video.
DubDigital. Crypto news. Macro Trends.